Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 10 of Nuclear Earth Reirradiated, where I am no longer dying to the environment. Well, that's like only kind of true. I'm slowly dying to the environment, much more slowly than before. Look at our radiation exposure down here. It's down into the micro radiations per tick. So, yeah, radiation will eventually kill me, but even then, like, I can just drink a rat away. And that clears up a fair bit of it. So right now we are in a situation where the world is explorable, and I think sometime in the near future we should go exploring it. But for now, let's see. For today I want to get started by building the void ore miner that I've been wanting to build for a long time. I don't really need most of the resources out of this. However, you have to run a tier 1 void ore miner for quite a while before you can run a tier 2 one. So I want to get it started. There's some other stuff in here like the glass pane from Astral that we have to make. But another nifty thing that the void ore miner gets you, even though at tier 1 it's very slow, 20 seconds per ore, is that it will periodically, I can find it in here somewhere. I'm looking for that ender, this stuff. Tiny progressions ender ore. Because this gives us 6 ender dust per, maybe even more. Yeah, even more than that if we process it in a sag mill. And ender powder is we can turn it into ender pearls, or we can turn it 1-to-1 into ender pearls. What a deal. But yeah, I need that stuff to do a bunch of, cool ender IO things I've gated by my lack of ender pearls. So let's go ahead and actually make this void miner now. I suspect at this point we have plenty of resources and it'll turn out to be pretty easy to make. Of the 3 void miner types, the ore miner, resource miner, and botanical miner, I eventually want all 3, but I can't make the botanical one yet because that requires chorus. Unless I'm overlooking something. I can't make this without chorus, right? Yeah, so we have to make a trip to the end to get chorus, which means that we can't get the void botanical miner yet. So I'll do 2 ore miners and 1 resource miner. And let's build it. Sure, we can build it let's put it over here. We don't have to touch these very often, and they do take up a fair bit of space. They also need a tunnel all the way down to bedrock. They have to be able to see either the void or the bedrock. What? Is this tool not capable of... weird. But yeah, what I'm going to do is set them up such that they have enough, or such that we have enough room around them to expand to the largest version. So the largest version, in fact, let me look at my documentation book, is something like 15 by 15 maybe? Nope, only 13 by 13 by 8, with the controller at the very top of it. So despite the fact that the starting one is much smaller at 7 by 7 by 4, I'm just going to set it up such that I can upgrade them in place without having to move everything around. So our tier 1 void ore miner will be floating in the air a bit, which is fine because we can fly. It's a shortcut for building these. If you have a assembler and all the pieces for the void whatever in your inventory, you can just right click on it and it'll build it. And it's just too close to the Botania stuff. Whatever, that Botania stuff's temporary. We can move that later, I guess. So this is the void resource miner. Now, if you do this for the higher tier ones, it will randomly choose what modifiers to apply. So you're gonna have to fix your modifiers afterwards. But for a tier 1 miner that has no modifiers, this just works. All right, so that's all of them built. We see it assembles, becomes true at the end, and then I just have to dig them down to bedrock. So here, straight on down. No hover mode. Don't fall into lava. 30. I have a feeling there's a lot of lava down here. I have a feeling I'm about to fall into lava. Hey, there it is. Even lava cannot stop me. So once it's done, this laser beam digs all the way down to the bedrock and produces resources for you. Look in the laser. Doesn't hurt your eyes. Anyways, I'm going to dig the other 2 holes and not hit quite as much lava. All set. Next up, we have to set up a system to both send power to these and to take the things that we mine out of them and store them somewhere. So first of all, how much power do they use? 400 for ore, which I believe is 10 times more than resource. So resource is 40. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at duration. Hold on. That's 1600, or 160 for resource, 660 for ore. All right. I assume this is the same. Okay, so I don't need to send a tremendous amount of energy here, but I do need power. I wonder, is there some type of easily accessed wireless power? Couldn't find any easily accessible wireless RF transfer. Like technically, you can use P2P to do wireless in conjunction with a quantum tunnel, but that's far more trouble than just laying down, 50-ish pieces of cable. So they're all just hooked up into our cable network. As for the items, I have them all each hooked up to an item interface. So the void ore miners, well, all the void miners push anything they mine into an adjacent inventory. So they all push into a laser network, and then I'm just going to hook that laser network up to an ME subnet. The reason I'm using a subnet is because I want it to just stop when it fills up the drives in the subnet, as opposed to filling up like my main net afterwards. And then I connect a storage bus to an interface on the subnet, and that allows us to see all the items. And I just set this to extract only because we'll basically only be extracting from it anyways, but I don't want to insert items into here. So every now and then you see some items show up there, and here are the items we have mined so far. The subnet here right now only have two 64K drives in it. There's, how many item types are there that the void miners get? The ore miner, I think it's at least there's 19 times 3 plus 1, so 58 total item types. The resource miner has a few more because it has all the different colors. Nope, has a few less even accounting for all the colors of terracotta. That's almost surprising. And then the botanical miner has a lot more stuff. Oh boy. Maybe whatever. The point is it'll fill up the types of a couple of these drives. I don't have a botanical miner yet. But anyways, right now I only have two 64K drives in these because I can't make more yet. Each 64K drive takes one iridium ingot, and while I have plenty of iridium ore, well, at least I have some iridium ore, I don't have the means of processing it into ingots yet. The two ingots I had came from a quest reward, I believe. So to process iridium, we can either, if we industrial grind it, we get 2.5 iridium plus some platinum. However, the iridium dust can't just be smelted. In fact, it can't even just be blast furnace. We can either arc furnace it, implosion chamber it, but that uses like this obsidian TNT stuff and is 2-to-1, or industrial blast furnace it, but that requires sphelerite. I think the easiest way to process it is actually to not pulverize it at all and just throw it into an arc furnace for 2 ingots per. It's not like the most efficient. You could get more, but I don't think iridium ore is all that rare. In fact, I haven't even emptied these inventories out to my ME system in a while, and I'm pretty sure this is where I get most of my iridium from, if not all of my iridium. Let's see. No, I must have gotten it from the laser. Yeah, okay, we get it from the... Oh no, this is the lasers. So there's probably some iridium in here somewhere. There's another 55, probably it. Oh, another stack in there. So first, at this point, this thing's slow enough that I think I'm content just dumping its contents directly into the ME system. So I'm going to empty these out into the ME system and then directly hook this ender chest up. Even with all those items moved over, I still got a fair bit of space left in my drives, although it's finite. Still, it'll take probably weeks to fill up my drives, and in the time of weeks, obviously, we'll be using the resources to do things. So our drives won't end up full. All right. Next, then, let's make that arc furnace for iridium processing. I believe, I saw that the quest here for the arc furnace, let's see if I can find it again, rewards us with 8 electrodes. 8's a strange number because you use them 3 at a time, but 8 electrodes means that we actually don't have to make electrodes for quite a while. And in fact, I suspect we won't have to make them it's conceivable that 8 electrodes will just last the entire pack. Basically, use them 3 at a time, so it's two sets of electrodes, and unless there's a cheeky way to make them, the electrodes are kind of a hassle because it's like 7 steps, right? You have to first get the blueprint, which normally you get it from trading with villagers, although because it's probably some time before we can spawn these villagers, I guess maybe there's strongholds to get them in. But anyways, if you don't have the trade, you can only get them by metal pressing half durability ones. And then that. What was I say afterwards? Anyway, so you need like the hot graphite ingot, which the hot graphite dust requires an industrial squeezer to make. Oh no, a manufacturer can do it too. Never mind. This is one of the hassles of immersive engineering normally, is that while you have a bunch of machines that like can do this type of work, normally none of them actually register, oh, the compressor can turn one coke dust into one hot graphite dust. Wait, that's a sick deal. Never mind. Electrodes are nothing. Electrodes are cheap. This is it. The coke dust has to be made in a crusher. There's like 30 different crushing style machines in the pack, right? But only one of them can make coke dust, apparently. Don't ask me. That's just how it is. Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna look at this. This list of materials is now basically free. As I was registering those recipes, I finally ran out of molecular assembler slots. So I think it's time that we expanded our assembler tree to at least take up the full 32 channels. I suspect we will end up needing multiple of these 32 channel trees before we're done with the pack. But for now, we'll have one full 32 channel assembler tree. I'm going to hold off on putting the acceleration cards into these, mostly just because I don't think they actually add a lot. And while I believe I can craft a whole bunch of them, I need to make more pure flux. That's a recipe I just haven't added yet. We have the materials for it. It's just, I don't know. Doesn't really help much. So anyways, what was I doing? Right, finishing up the arc furnace. Just a couple of days ago, the 150-ish steel ingots that went into making this thing would have been quite a difficult proposition. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, whatever, 150 steel ingots, sign me up. I love how much having a server and thus offline processing, how big a difference that makes. So anyways, let's go hit our thing with a hammer to form it into a multi-block. What do we hit? Is it this block? Hey, we are the hottest topic. Select our reward here. Another bonus machine frame. Sign me up. Alright, so for automation, I forget how exactly this works. I think it's this board here leads... This is the front side of the thing, right? So when you look at it this way. You can't automate the electrodes. That's impossible. I think it's the ones on the left fill these slots. The ones on the right fill these slots. The output comes out the front and the back. It's like slag out the back and items out the front. And that's it. For things that require multiple output or multiple inputs, it's a little bit difficult to automate this thing and ensure that you don't like accidentally jam it. What I think I'm actually just going to do is, of the arc furnace recipes, let me pull that up. So of the arc furnace recipes, almost all the things that have multiple inputs can be better made in like a different alloy making device, like the alloy smelter for this. Then again, that gives you a worse ratio. Maybe not, I don't know. For now, I'm only going to bother to automate the single input type recipes. So that'll be, I guess for now, just iridium. Power is inputted to these 3 ports in the back. You don't have to input into all 3 of them, but they give you up to 3 connection points for it. And this machine is relatively energy hungry at 512 RF per tick for most operations, and it runs up to 12 operations in parallel. So at max, it can use 6,000 and change RF a tick. That's a lot, but we can handle that. So iridium ores, of which we have 200 and some. We can set that recipe. I'm going to set it as a 1-to-1 because I believe the machine is smart in that sense. If you give it 1 item at a time, in fact, I'm just going to test it with a hopper. If you give it 1 item at a time, I believe it's smart enough to automatically distribute items between all of its input slots. Whereas if you give it like a stack of items all in one go, it'll put all one stack into one slot. Let's test that. If I just using iron for now, first make sure that this is the right slot. Nope, that is the wrong slot. Oh, that's the danger of insta-mining. No, wasn't that block. Alright, come back to me, Arc Furnace. I apologize for breaking you. At least it gave me my electrodes back. So it was this slot. And yeah, it's smart enough to, like, you know, try to balance it all. But if I had something that can transfer multiple items at a time, say item conduit, and then I gave it iron, because this moves 4 items at a time, it still tries to distribute it as best it can, but because it gets 4 at a time, it can't distribute it quite as perfectly. Now, if you give it a lot of input, you know, it's close enough, it's good enough, but like, you don't want your recipe to say 1 stack of iridium ore makes 2 stacks of iridium ingots, because when you order something that needs, you know, a dozen iridium ingots, right, what'll happen is all 6 ores will get put into the same slot, and the use of durabilities on electrodes is 1 per tick, regardless of whether or not you have 1 slot processing or all 12 slots processing. All right, so I don't need to actually have you smelt this iron. Let's get rid of you, hook this up to the ME system, and then make some bigger storage drives. If they hooked up, let's make a sanity check by ordering 100 iridium, and it still takes it like 10 seconds from the moment I order to the moment when the first one's done. But on average it produces, yeah, it's definitely right. On average it produces, I think it's like 1 a second. Every 10 seconds it produces, no, more than that then. Every 10 seconds it produces 12 times 2, 24, so it's like 2.5 a second. That's not half bad. Now here is some strange behavior. I noticed that if I use the Find My Interface button that causes the interface to blink, while it's blinking, I can see the sulfur spouts underground. Like, what? What's going on? I have no clue how the two are related, but apparently while my interface is blinking, like, you know, the sulfur ore, in fact, do I have a sample of it? I don't think this is the same sulfur ore, unfortunately. Now, the sulfur ore from that drops this from soot, as it like spews out, we can see it render through the ground. I don't know, no practical implementation or no practical use of that bug. Just a weird thing going on. All right, so anyways, with this we should be able to make a whole bunch of 64K drives. We can go above that. In this pack we do have extra cells, so like 64Ks can go up to 256s, 1024s, 4096s, all the way up to, you know, whatever the biggest sizes. But these really are overkill. Out of curiosity, what does it take to make one of these? I mean, it's not that bad. You know, 13,000 redstone, 3,000 glowstone. Yeah. If I'd used all of my resources and got a little bit more gold, I could probably make one. Let's settle for 64Ks. It's funny, one of my best sources of glowstone for now is the byproduct from processing redstone ore. So each redstone ore gives me half of a glowstone. I mean, I suppose the other way is just like go to the end or go to the nether and mine it, now that I have a fair bit of radiation shielding. But, you know, mining? Psh, that's not the name of this game. With access to 64K components, let's make a couple CPUs. This way we can do larger auto crafting tasks, and they're quite cheap, all things considered. So finish up real quick. Yeah, that took all of what, like 5 seconds, 10 seconds to make. You can then, I think we can just replace these. I see no reason to keep our old 4Ks online. Thank you for your service, though. Blop and blop. I believe you can reclaim the processor that's in here. You get both the unit and the like component back, so yeah, might as well, right? And then let's make a total of 18 of these. I need a bit more glowstone and the engineering processor recipe. 10 to fill up this drive and 8 for the drive that's being used over there. So let's see. Processor, this one's easy. Just a recipe. Make sure we use the right type of silicon, which it is. And then glowstone. We go mining for this? We can start getting it from the void ore miner. It's not terribly common. We get it very rarely from this because we only get it in the weight 1 category. Like, we're not in the end or in the nether, right? Alternatively, I can just process more redstone. So I have 800 redstone ore left. That makes 8,000 of this and 400 pieces of glowstone. We're gonna need more than that. All right, let's go mining. If we're gonna do that, let's make some new tools. Party pickaxe is great and all, but I think we can make the drills from Techreborn. Techreborn also has jackhammers, and I actually don't know what the difference between a drill and a jackhammer is. They kind of like, is a jackhammer the 1x and the drill is a 3x? I don't know. Let's try them both, I guess. And of course, we may as well make the best one. So let's see, advanced drill. This requires tungsten and iridium alloy. Let's do the iridium alloy first. That requires an implosion compressor. Frankly, I just want to blow stuff up, and that's what an implosion compressor does. So make me one of these, and I suspect it needs a multi-block too, but of course that's not documented anywhere. Looks like its multi-block is just a whole bunch of reinforced machine casings, and they're all underneath it, so we'll do that. There we go. Plug it in, and then its recipes all use some type of explosive to turn something into something else. Most of these, like, dust back into ingot recipes are useless. Like, why do I, I can, if I have the dust, why do I need to turn it back into the gem or whatever? But the one useful recipe it does, and perhaps, I guess this one, so there's two. It makes highly advanced plates later, probably the only recipe for it. And for now, I need it to make iridium alloy plates. So, do I have a lot of gunpowder? I'm sure I could make it with at least one of these. We could definitely transmute flint into it. All right, gunpowder shouldn't be an issue. Tungsten is a bit trickier. Thankfully, we've gotten 3 pieces of it, I think, from our void ore miner. We can laser mine it, but only in the end. So I think the 3 pieces we've gotten have been lucky. Thankfully, we don't need a lot of it. So industrial grinder turns it into 2 dust, and then the dust, I think, can just be smelted. Perfect. With that, let's make the drill. We're also going to need a better way to charge it. Charging the thing through the energizer I've been using, it's fine for things like the jetpack, but it only charges at 1k RF a tick. And that's not going to do for something that has 4 million internal buffer. So can we make the Ender IO charger, even the wired one by chance? We can definitely make the wired one. We make the wireless one. We make the enhanced one? So many possibilities. The wireless charger is a little bit out of reach, so for now, let's just use the wired one. I'll have you here, borrow your capacitor to make it quick. Uh-oh, game crash? Nope, just a bit of lag. And let's go. Well, I started the drill. Let's see how that's going now. Should be crafting 1 steel drill. Did I put it in the wrong slot? No, it's definitely in a molecular assembler. I suspect there's some MBT data weirdness going on then. Let's just do the last few steps by hand. Should have all the materials for it. Yeah, it didn't like the circuit. What? How was it trying to make a drill without a circuit? Huh? When I hit cancel, it should have given me my circuit back. Hold on, let's try that again. Make me, put all these things back. Make me 1 steel drill. Available 1 steel drill. What? I'm confused. I most definitely do not have a steel drill available. Right? Available? Why are you lying to me, Applied Energistics? Yeah. Manually craft it then. A drill and then... Oh, now I have 2 steel drills. Where did the second drill come from? Don't question it. Upgrade it to a diamond drill. Now I have no steel drills. What happened to my crafting recipe? Nothing makes sense. Anyways, here is an advanced drill. Give it a little charge. Apparently, I went through all this work to charge it at exactly 1000 RF a tick. Anyways, this IO rate 4K. This thing's almost definitely capable of 4K. All right, whatever. Drill. You suck. So I guess you are part shovel. Do you have like modes? Let's see. Roles. Techreborn. Config. P. P? Charger mode. That's not what I want. Alright. I'm not bothering with the jackhammer. On second thought, let's give the jackhammer a chance. I mean, what's the worst it can do? Disappoint me? Here's the secret. Techreborn exists to disappoint me. Alright, give it a little bit of basic charge. Just enough to use it. What does the P button do now? No toggles charger mode. Alright. Is there a shift right click? No? Oh good, it's an exceptionally slow pickaxe. Is it at least 3x3? Techreborn, why do you exist? I found out how to use the drills. You put them in your arc furnace so that they can be recycled to give you like 2 nuggets back. Perfect. So now that we've used our Techreborn stuff appropriately, let's just use our pickaxe to go mining for a little bit of glowstone. I was secretly hoping that one of those tools would be vein miner capable, like the Mekanism drill. We can't make the Mekanism drill, can we? No, not even close. Dang. Because mining this one by one kind of sucks. The radiation in here, though, it's kind of not that bad anymore. 27 millirads per tick. That's about what we were getting in the overworld before having our hazmat on. And I did bring a thing of Rad-X with me. Let's see how... yeah, with it, it goes down to 2, at least briefly. I imagine that number will go back up again over time, but 2 millirads a tick, I can deal with that. For even better results, let's just try the exchanging gadget. It's nice because it has like infinite reach, so I can just do that. The glowstone goes in my inventory. I have to use up cobble or some other. I guess it doesn't have infinite reach. It has high reach. I do have to use up some resource, but you know, cobble, no big deal. This is much easier than mining it. That should hopefully be the last time we have to go manually mining for glowstone. The void miners get significantly more glowstone than those void miners get a lot more glowstone than my other void miner. They're both void miners, but you know what I mean. So anyways, making my 16 64k or 18 64k cells, it's very thankful auto crafting gets to take care of all the intermediate steps for me. At this point, this is way more steps than I want to do by hand. Says estimate it's 1.5 minutes. It's probably a bit longer than that because the estimate assumes all tasks take the same length of time, and that's not a true statement. Most of the tasks are, you know, faster than basically your operation is as slow as your slowest task, not as slow as your average task. The bottleneck in this process seems to be the crafting of the data storage circuits. They are a very, very slow baseline recipe at 160 seconds. So even with a bunch of the speed upgrades, you know, they go from 160 to faster, but still not very fast. Also, what is this happening? What? This is an instant crafting step. How does that take so long? I don't understand. But it finished, so I guess I'm not going to complain. Maybe it just wasn't updating its state or something. Anyways, some of our 64Ks have finished though, so I'm going to grab those, put them into here, and then put the rest into our miners there. The miners will basically never fill up 10 drives. At least tier 1 miners will. A tier 6 miner probably fills up 10 drives in like hours. But it'll be a long time before tier 6 miners. In any event, our current drives will last us, you know, it'll be enough storage for the foreseeable future, especially because I don't typically dump huge bulk items into drives. Then again, I typically dump huge bulk items into drawers, and we don't exactly have drawers in this pack, so maybe I'll be relying more on my drives than usual. I don't know, we'll see. In any event, I think that's all that I've got for today. Next time we'll come back, and I want to start working towards the atomic disassembler. Not so much because I want the tool, but it's a convenient goal for getting into Mechanism, because it kind of requires you to dive relatively deeply into Mechanism, because you have to get into like the atomic alloy, which is a high tier alloy. Has convenient side effects of forcing us to make all the other Mechanism machines and, you know, upgrade our energy conduits to ultimate conduits. I love ultimate ultimate energy cables. They're great. But yeah, that'll be for tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.